Welcome to Public Service Audits, where we highlight top-shelf auditors so you can exercise your constitutional rights with confidence. Let's put our cards on the table and play some poker.
I'm going to go ahead and ID you one way or the other. It's up to you.
What do you mean one way or the other?
Pardon me?
What do you mean one way or the other?
One way or the other. If we have to take you downtown and fingerprint you, we'll do that. You're being detained for investigative purposes right now. Believe me, I know the law better than you.
Ever heard of Turner v. Driver? Well, Philip is the guy that created it. Let's get it on.
We're going to ID you, but until we do that, you're not free to go.
We're off.
There you go.
You're not being handcuffed.
I know
right
you're
now.
used to this going one way based on the YouTube education you've gotten, but that's not how we do it, okay? We're going to do this according to our policy and according to law.
It's a public area, sir.
Okay, that's fine.
Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation. My name is Philip and I recorded this video back in June of 2015. I conducted a First Amendment audit test to see how well the Austin Police Department knew their own policies. I will break down this video to show my thought process and how I was able to handle this detention. Recording the police can be intimidating. However, by being knowledgeable of my rights and the policy of Austin Police gave me more confidence in my stance. Enough confidence that allowed my lawyer to file a federal lawsuit against the officers in this video. It is perfectly legal to take photographs and video out in public. The City of Austin created a policy to help educate their officers of this very fact. Under Policy 302, Public Recording of Official Acts, the Austin Police Department recognized that members of the general public have the First Amendment right to record video, photograph, and/or audio record APD officers while they are conducting official business or while acting in official capacity of any public space, unless such recordings interfere with police activity. Now that we have a little knowledge of the policy, let's see how APD responds.
Sir, how are you? I'm Officer Tripp. I'm with Austin Police. This is Officer Smith.
How's it going?
What's going on today?
So far, so good. 2 out of 3 has anteed up.
Can you talk or you just don't want to talk?
I make the collective decision not to talk here. Usually what follows after a nice greeting comes the interrogation. Remaining silent does 2 things here. 1, we skip the formalities and dive right into the meat and potatoes, and 2, it forces the APD officers to make a decision.
The reason we're out on you is you caused kind of a scare up here, so we're trying to figure out what's going on, so.
If they were truly scared, it stands to reason that they would have approached a little more cautiously.
You videotaping for a reason, or what's going on?
You're probably wondering why I don't tell the officers about Policy 302. Well, it's not my job to know their job, and it defeats the purpose of this education. We can chalk this up as an expensive training opportunity.
You don't want to talk to us at all, or you just want to videotape?
Yeah, videotaping is all I want to do. In fact, APD Policy 302, Section C states, as long as the photographing or recording takes place in a setting at which an individual has a legal right to be present and does not interfere with an officer's safety or lawful duties, officers shall not inform or instruct people that photographing or recording of police officers, police activity is not allowed, requires a permit, or requires the officer's consent.
Videotaping us is fine. We're just trying to figure out what's going on. We don't have this happen every day, so.
Okay, let's go ahead and ID this gentleman.
Do you have an ID on you at all? Sir, listen. We're trying to cooperate with you, okay? But you gotta cooperate with us. You can videotape all you want, but you're being suspicious right now. We're trying to figure out what's going on. So if you have an ID with you, that'd be fine for you. We'd love for you to give it to us so we can find out what's going on.
Hey, sir.
Am I doing anything illegal?
Poor Officer Smith. He just wouldn't give in. He actually kept up this one-sided conversation. Once I broke my silence, things went downhill. I gave these officers a shovel and watched them dig their own hole.
Yes, based on
What am I doing that's illegal?
But based on your suspicious activity, we're going to go ahead and ID you. If you have no warrants or anything like that, we're going to go ahead and wish you a good day, and we're going to be on our way.
Am I under arrest?
No, you're not under arrest, but you are being detained. There's no 2 ways about it.
Officer Shirley stated my activity was suspicious. Under Policy 302, officers are reminded that photograph, including videotaping of places, buildings, structures, and events are common and normal lawful activities. If a person is taking photographs or recording from a place where he or she has the right to be, officers are reminded that this activity by itself does not constitute suspicious conduct. It was also clear that I was detained and that I was required to give ID. Both of these violate 2 and 4 of Policy 302, and that hole is looking a little deeper now.
Alright, well, if I'm being detained, y'all can go ahead and do your investigation, but I'm just gonna stay here and
That's fine.
exercise my Fifth Amendment right. Just stay here, and if I'm not doing anything wrong, then there's no reason for y'all to be
We're
here.
going to go ahead and ID you one way or the other. It's up to you.
What do you mean one way or the other?
Pardon me?
What do you mean one way or the other?
One way or the other. If we have to take you downtown and fingerprint you, we'll do that. You're being detained for investigative purposes right now. Believe me, I know the law better than you. So you can film all you want. You can set it up however you want. We're going to ID you. But until we do that, you're not free to go.
And we're adding 6 to the list. Officers shall not in any way threaten, intimidate, or otherwise discourage an individual from recording officer enforcement activities. I could have easily told these officers their own policy, but again, that is not my job. Police set up sting and bait operations all the time. It's only fair that we conduct our own tests to make sure these officers stay in line. This will conclude part 1. Be sure to like and follow for part 2. Welcome back to part 2. If you have not watched part 1, I strongly recommend starting there first. In order for any of this to make sense, we must follow the rules of regulation. Link to part 1 is in the pinned comment and description below. Let's jump into part 2 as we deep dive into this video.
Texas is not a stop and ID state, is it?
Guys, go ahead and frisk this gentleman. Make sure that he doesn't have any weapons on him.
I have no weapons and I do not consent to
Go ahead and
searches.
frisk him like I said. Make sure he has no weapons on him.
I don't consent to
And then
searches.
he can either provide us his information willingly, or we can do it through the ID section downtown.
You have any
Under
weapons on you at
what
all?
gives you the authority to do that?
Go ahead and get this done, guys. I'm not
Go
going to
ahead and
argue
stand
with
up
this
for
guy.
me.
You're violating my Fourth Amendment. You know that, right?
Stand up. You do
Stand
what
up
you
for
need
us.
to do, and we'll do what we need to do, buddy.
I can see clearly now the rain is gone.
Notice how Officer Shirley doesn't bother answering my questions. The questions I'm asking requires actual knowledge of the law and policies of APD. I intentionally repeat questions to see if the officers will double down or say something stupid, the same technique used by officers when they interrogate suspects. At this point, I'm not sure if these officers seen audit videos on YouTube, but the ringleader of this circus makes it very clear shortly.
Do you have anything on you that we need to know about? Knives, guns,
I have,
weapons?
I have nothing. I'm just holding my hands
Okay.
up.
Just put your hands back behind you. You can put the camera down and film us while we're doing this if you want
We're not
to.
doing
Am I
this
under
like you-
arrest? That's
like
what
you
I'm
think
asking.
is
You're
gonna
being
happen.
detained, and during the detention, you can be frisked for safety.
If he won't put it down, handcuff him.
Here, I'll put my hands right here. Is that fine?
If he won't do it willingly, handcuff him.
Put your hands behind your back for us.
There we go.
back. Come back here.
There we go.
You're not being
I
handcuffed
know
right
you're
now.
used to
You're
this
just
going
being-
one way based on the YouTube education you've gotten, but that's not how we
Sketch
do
feet
it,
for me.
okay? We're going to do this according to our policy and according to law.
It's a public area, sir.
Okay, that's fine.
I asked multiple times if I was being arrested, which is key, and a few officers stated that I was not. Texas Penal Code 3802 makes it clear when an individual has to identify themselves, which we will take a look at shortly. If you're in a position that requires your hands being restrained, or if you're being patted down or searched, try to offer to set the camera down in a prime position to capture the search. I have done this numerous times and it worked out very well.
Cell phone?
Yep.
You have a wallet on you? An ID at all?
I'm not answering any more questions unless I'm being under arrest.
You're being detained, which means
Okay.
you
If he has an ID, we have
We don't
every
have an
right
ID at all.
we have every right to look at it. It's not an issue, guys.
come on the back of you. There.
Yeah.
That'll work.
Set it right here so it doesn't interfere with your camera, okay? You're filming this, and so are we. So we have 2 separate angles. You're
All
good
right.
to go.
Relax.
Am I good?
You don't have an ID on you, so what's your... Let me get pen and paper here. You from Austin originally?
I'm not answering any questions.
ID is like crack to an ignorant, uneducated officer. They just have to have it. They need their fix. If they don't get their way, it's highly possible they become more aggressive in their approach and resort to show me your papers Nazi-like behavior. These officers were supposed to frisk me, which is considered a pat-down, but Officer Smith decides to go into my pockets to retrieve my ID, which is a violation of my Fourth Amendment right. There was no probable cause for the search, and consent was not given, nor was I arrested. Unfortunately for them, I don't carry ID on audits.
When you're stopped by reasonable suspicion by peace officers in the state of
Can I have a
Texas,
sit here?
no, you can stand there for a second until we're finished. When you're stopped by police officers in the state of Texas for reasonable suspicion, you're required to give minimal identifying information, that being your name and your date of birth. So we'll start there.
Well, what pinnacle is that?
I'm not going to argue with you.
I'm just asking.
Okay, to me, that right there is a fold. However, when you're dumb as a bag of hammers, you just don't know when to get out.
If he doesn't want to do it, go ahead and put him in handcuffs, and we can do it until we find him on the system. That's the way it goes. Suspicious people, suspicious places, suspicious circumstances. The Code of Criminal Procedure gives us that authority.
In reality, reasonable articulable suspicion goes way beyond mere suspicion. First off, there must be an underlying crime that they are investigating. Second, they must have a reasonable suspicion that you are involved with that crime. And third, they must be able to articulate the facts for suspecting you of that crime. Otherwise, they are violating your Fourth Amendment right to be secure in your person, house, papers, and effects.
I've been doing this a lot longer than you've been doing that.
I think we're beyond ego at this point. Looks like it's morphing into tyranny to me. Do what I say, and do it now.
So we can go one way or the other. I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not going to get in a debate with you. I know that this makes great fodder on YouTube. I know that it's wonderful to post your videos, and it seems like, oh my God, the sky's crashing down, Big Brother and all that. But we're simply trying to do our job.
Well, well, well. Looks like he just gave up the ghost. He knows that this guy is not doing anything illegal. He just doesn't like the publicity. We'll just let him play out his bluff and see how it goes.
We're going to do that with or without your cooperation. So how we proceed from here is 100% up to you. How do you want to do it?
Here comes the demand and attempt to instill fear in me for not obeying their authority. I knew Officer Shirley was either lying or just completely drunk and ignorant from his 10 badge and gun. Texas Penal Code 3802 makes it clear when you have to give identification in Texas. A person commits an offense if he intentionally refuses to give his name, residence address, or date of birth to a peace officer who has lawfully arrested the person and requested the information. A person commits an offense if he intentionally gives a false or fictitious name, residence address, or date of birth to a peace officer who has lawfully arrested the person, lawfully detained a person, or requested the information from a person that the peace officer has good cause to believe is a witness to a criminal offense. Not many people are willing to challenge officers or may not know their rights. This is why it's important to understand and heavily educate yourself on the laws of your state. Keep in mind this will vary depending on the situation if you're trying to avoid being arrested. Traffic and pedestrian violations are different. When receiving a citation, it's best to give identification. For example, if you're pulled over for a traffic violation, the driver must ID. The passengers don't have to ID unless they aren't wearing seatbelts or committing another violation. I decided to make a stand here because I knew for a fact this detention would not hold up in court.
Am I doing anything wrong? It's just a question. It's just a question.
No answer for that one? Looks like you're sitting on a 2-7 unsuited. I will definitely play this hand out.
Set that down?
Yeah.
I know this isn't going the
Now
way
you're
you thought
violating
it
my
was
First
gonna go.
Amendment right.
I know it's not the way you thought it was going to
This
go.
is not how it's supposed to go.
Okay, don't
You
fight
can
this.
either put the camera down or we'll take it from you. Now, you want me to make sure it's filming? I'll fix the screen so you can see. Does that work for you? I noticed you didn't want to talk or answer questions unless it was asking questions of us. I found that to be especially
Well,
interesting.
you're arresting me, right?
No, you're not under arrest. You're being detained.
Detained.
Investigatively detained.
Investigatively detained. What crime is it that you think I am committing, have committed, or about to commit?
If you'd like, I can explain the difference to you.
Texas is not a stop and ID state.
Okay, thanks for telling me the law. Now let me tell you what's going to happen.
No matter how confident you are in your bluff, I will call.
We're going to detain you until we have been able to properly identify you.
Bingo! We want you in the system so we can monitor you at any time we want.
If we're able to properly identify you and there's no warrants or any other reason to hold you, we'll cut you loose.
Without even knowing it, you just admitted there is no crime.
As is our prerogative. As is held by the state of Texas law, the United States Constitution, and, by the way, Austin Police Department policy and procedures. Now, how we proceed, again, I'm going to put it to you. It's up to you. You can either willingly give us your name and date of birth, or you can continue to take this stand that you're taking, which will do you no good other than delaying your freedom to go.
You see, they're addicted to the ID. It's just like crack to them. They gotta have their fix.
So tell me again, do you want to give us your name and date of birth, or do you want us to detain you further until we can specifically identify you and make sure that there is nothing more to this than what meets the eye?
What meets the eye is the key to the situation. If you don't have evidence that I have committed a crime, you cannot get my ID.
Am I under arrest?
You are being detained.
Okay.
I've said it again. If you want me to get closer to the camera so I could say it into the speaker, I'll do that.
Okay, you want to play tough? I'm going all in.
However, I think it's been made clear to you that you're being detained for investigative purposes. You will not be released until we can positively identify you.
But they go round in circles.
Check and mate. This is why I ask some questions multiple times and let officers cop-splain. It's almost like getting a confession in an unofficial deposition. You give them a shovel and let them dig themselves a hole. However, I do think there are some good officers out there who are educated and smart enough to realize that there was no reasonable suspicion of a crime and a detention was not warranted. However, an investigative detention is a bit different. This usually happens when an officer has a reasonable suspicion that a crime is about to be committed or has already been committed. Knowing for a fact that I was well within APD policy and Texas law, the likelihood of them finding a real crime is 0%. Knowing this, I wanted to see just how far they will go with their unlawful actions.
Does that sound like it's clear now? Whether you agree with it or not, are you understanding what I'm saying to you?
You should be familiar with Penal Code 3802. You should be familiar with it.
If they're not going to read and understand the Constitution for which they took an oath, they don't care about their state law either.
I appreciate you telling me what I should and should not do.
Okay,
But here's
but
what
based on
we're
that,
going to
then
do.
I'm going to follow
Have
that.
him sit in the back of the car, and let's go ahead and figure out who he is. Once we do that, we'll go from there.
Step over here.
Here, take his camera. Make sure he keeps that with him.
Can I hold on to it or no? No.
No, we're going to go ahead and hold on to it. It's still filming.
This car is
and you'll
filming?
be filmed in the car as well. You want me to film exactly this? Nope. No, we're going to keep you. We're going to put you in air-conditioned company. No, actually, you're actually dictating how we treat you at this point. If you would like to leave, just tell us your name, date of birth. We'll make sure that you don't have any wants or warrants. We'll make sure that there's no other suspicious activity we need to investigate, and you'll be free to go. If you want to play this out and make a statement, you can go ahead and do that. It's just going to delay you being able to leave freely. All right, there we go.
Freedom, you take me down?
Okay, two things here. One, I wasn't expecting them to double down on their bluff, or maybe it wasn't a bluff, and these guys are actually serious. They actually think they can detain and ID me based on suspicious activity alone. We already know that APD policy has outlined that this activity is not suspicious, and I tried to give them a hint about 3802 and they didn't listen, and our hole just turned into a crater. Oh well, since I'm in a car already, might as well see how far this goes. And two, I can't believe they're using my camera to record this for me. I guess there are some elements to recording in public these officers won't violate. This concludes part 2. Be sure to like and share, as the third and final part will be uploaded shortly. Welcome back to part 3. If you have not watched part 1 or 2, I strongly recommend starting there first. In order for any of this to make sense, we must follow the rules of regulation. Link to part 1 and 2 will be in the pinned comment and description below. The open records requests have been dragging on, so I decided to release part 3.
Figure out who he is. Did he have anything in his pockets that we can kind of identify information on?
Figure out who he is. At this point, there are several things going through my mind. Are these officers seriously doubling down on stupidity with little regard on how the law works? How far do I really want to play this out? Should I just tell them their policy? Nah, screw that. They already dug their hole. No need to give them a way out. They are still recording this entire incident for me. Let me see if they will say something else stupid.
Dead skunk in the middle of the road.
Have you ever had an ID issue too?
questions, sir.
So how are you expecting this to play out? Tell me that.
I mean, until y'all arrest me until y'all find a crime to
So in
arrest
other
me
words,
for.
you're just trying to get us to arrest you for no reason. That's pretty much it, right?
That's pretty much what I'm in right now.
No, you're being detained. There's a difference between being detained and being under arrest. A detention usually yields an investigation.
But y'all can investigate. I'm just
And
using
that's
my
what we're
Fifth
trying
Amendment
do,
right
but
to be
you're not-
quiet.
But you're not helping us out with this at all.
I have the right to use my Fifth Amendment right now.
How am I expecting this to play out, you say? Well, to find uneducated officers and give them an education they won't forget. These officers are trying to intimidate and pressure me into giving up my rights. What sensible person would volunteer to help the police when they are the subject of an investigation? Why would I help them arrest me by talking? The police are responsible for locating and gathering evidence, and my Fifth Amendment right is controlling the detention contrary to what the camera shows. I have absolutely no duty to assist them in their investigation. I have done and completed my homework. I will not assist them in doing theirs. You will see me talk and then exercise my Fifth Amendment in various parts of the detention. I do this for two reasons. One, to establish dominance during the detention, especially when there is no probable cause or reasonable suspicion. Some officers say some of the dumbest things, and I could subconsciously overreact or say something on pure instinct that would tip my hand. This is an undercover sting operation to see how well they know their own policy, and so far it's not looking good.
Y'all didn't state any crime that I broke, but I'm in handcuffs.
But you do understand the detention. What do you understand as the detention?
You guys are just holding me, but you got me in handcuffs.
No.
I was perfectly fine right there.
If you know everything that you're supposed to know about the law, give me the law on detention.
You can hold me for whatever purpose, but you have to suspect me of committing a crime.
No.
No?
No.
What's your name and badge number?
My name is Officer Smith. My badge number is 6981. The suspicion.
What's your badge number and name, sir? 6173. What's your name? I can't hear you, sir. I'm sorry? I can't hear you. What's your name, sir, badge number?
Yes, sir. Trip.
And it's going to be on the report. So if you need to get a report number too, you can get all our names and numbers on the report number.
Didn't do anything wrong.
We're not trying to do anything to you that you're not trying to do to us.
Didn't do anything wrong.
Sir, listen. If somebody's walking around your house, even in your house, and you think they're suspicious because they're doing something suspicious, wouldn't that raise an eyebrow for you?
If they're on public property, what?
No, don't even go there.
When they get defensive like that, you know you won the hand.
It is. Was I not on public property?
If somebody's staring at your house.
Was I not on public property?
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Here we go again with this lame analogy comparing apples to oranges. You cannot compare public and private property. Those are two completely different fruits. This should be a red flag if an officer cannot distinguish between the two. As soon as I found a conflicting argument in his analogy, he told me not to go there. I guess that didn't work out the way he intended. I find it deeply concerning that they believe they can detain people without reasonable suspicion of a crime. There are other ways you can be detained, such as probable cause, but that doesn't apply in this situation.
If somebody's staring at your house, you're going to call the PD to come and check on to see what that person's doing.
No.
The person sitting in front of your house staring through your window. Am I right?
No.
You're not.
I'll be armed, but in that case, if I were to call the police, you guys will probably be too late.
That's the cold, hard facts right there.
Really?
Yes.
Possibly. You probably walked off. But what if we weren't late? Suspicious person, suspicious activities. Tell me about that law.
You can sit there and ask me questions all you want to.
You're telling me you know the law from here and there. I'm just trying to figure out if you know exactly what's going on.
Well, I'm just going to sit here until y'all finish what y'all doing.
Okay.
I know exactly what's going on. I know that you need probable cause or reasonable suspicion to operate on, and you don't have that. What I didn't know exactly at the time was the specifics of said law. Under Texas Code of Criminal Procedure, Article 14.03, Authority of a Peace Officer, a person found in suspicious places and circumstances which show that such persons have been guilty of some felony. This is probably why they wanted my ID so badly. However, this section also states that a peace officer needs to have probable cause of an offense. Regardless, this will not apply to my detention. Part 6 in this section is pretty interesting. A person who makes a statement to the peace officer that would be admissible against a person under Article 38.21. This pertains to a statement being used as evidence. When being detained, if you so choose to speak, you should always choose your words wisely, and there is a specific reason for that. Why do you think Miranda rights are typically read after you've been arrested? You know that old saying, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you in a court of law. Officers don't tell you this in the beginning because they are hoping that you will sing like a canary. Once they gather the necessary evidence or confession for charges, they don't need you to talk anymore. In most cases, it's recommended that you don't talk to police, period. If these officers can't get what they want, let's see how far they're willing to go to intimidate and pressure me.
You can go quick and easy right now if you just give a name and date of birth.
I got all the time in the world.
If not, we're going down to our main station, get your fingerprint and figure out who you are. Because it's suspicious activity.
That's a violation of the Fourth Amendment.
Suspicious activity? Are you telling me?
That does not override the Fourth Amendment.
Are you sure about that?
I'm positive.
How are you positive?
Positive.
Well, let me tell you this. I don't know you from anybody else that I'm standing around here with in this parking lot. And with the suspicious activity that you were doing, I don't know if you're trying to do something to the building or if you have some kind of a mental ailment that we need to address or get addressed or some kind of medical issue that needs to be addressed.
Now he says you might have a medical condition? This guy is trying to deal from the bottom of the deck. Don't let this guy fool you. He doesn't care about your health. As a matter of fact, police are under no obligation to protect anyone from anybody. Period.
So, in order to figure that out, if you're not cooperating with us, we have to do our best. And like my sergeant also said, we have policy on this.
Why would I cooperate with someone who's treating me like a criminal? Even though I didn't do anything wrong. Why would I cooperate with someone who's treating me like a criminal, even though y'all told me I didn't do anything wrong?
You're being suspicious.
What's suspicious of?
You're videotaping an area of people.
So being in a Sonic parking lot is suspicious?
No, you were not in a Sonic parking lot the entire time.
This right here. Oh, okay, on the sidewalk in front of the station. That's completely suspicious.
If anybody calls in and says, hey, this is weird, we have to investigate.
From on the sidewalk?
Because it's not something that people normally do. That's what makes it suspicious. If a person driving by here says, huh, that looks suspicious, that's suspicious activity.
That's not evidence. That's hearsay. Once you get the call, then you have to investigate to find out if there's any truth to it. Then if you find that you have evidence, you can detain someone.
That's all right. Y'all just figure out what y'all have to do. I'll sit here and wait.
That's fine. You want to go down and just do the fingerprinting?
Sir, is there anything that we can say or do to have you assist us with our investigation?
I mean, if y'all fingerprint me, I'm suing you guys. There's no reason for this.
No.
Y'all didn't even tell me what crime I committed.
Is there anything that we can say or do to have you assist us with our investigation?
Fifth Amendment.
Could you imagine a world where police are called for every little thing that is weird, strange, or if someone didn't like you barbecuing or using a swimming pool? Well, that time is now. Officer Smith said, if people think it's suspicious, then it's suspicious activity. I couldn't believe what I was hearing.
Hey, you mind loosening these up? These are kind of hurting my wrists right now.
They're on as by policy.
I understand that, but can you loosen them up? They're like really hurting my wrists.
They're on as by policy.
Can you loosen them up?
You're going to lean forward. They're not made for comfort at all.
The seat's reclined. I got a seatbelt holding me back, so I can't really lean forward.
Push yourself up.
But that's not helping.
Listen, those things are owned by policy. I put my finger in them just like I'm supposed to.
I understand that, but I'm asking you, can you loosen them? They're really tight.
No, sir.
Ow.
I don't know your intentions. You haven't told me any of your intentions. You don't want to talk to us, so I don't know what your intentions are. So I'm not about to put myself in a safety situation by allowing you to get loose and handcuffed.
That's why they're called torture cuffs. They were made for slaves, and they're not supposed to be comfortable. So don't expect any sympathy at all from a jackboot thug.
Well, you got a gun, taser, pepper
I
spray.
don't use my gun. I've been doing this for way too long.
Well, can you get another officer to do it? Because these are really tight.
They're not tight. I put my fingers in them just like I was supposed to make sure that you had enough room between your wrists. They're just in the position that you have your hands is making it worse.
Well, my back.
I saw some officers talking behind a cruiser and I wanted to get a good look at them. In doing so, I might have tightened the cuffs when I readjusted my positioning in a seat. At the time, the officers didn't double lock the handcuffs. Double locking allows you to lock the cuffs down to prevent the detainee from closing the cuffs too tight on the wrist.
If they're not going to follow the law, they're not going to follow procedure, and it may be intentional.
I'll be sure to keep this in mind for the next time.
Just hanging out, take care of some business.
Hey, ask him what crime he's charged me with.
Some employees from Sonic gathered to inquire about the situation. At this point, more officers were gathered at the back corner of the cruiser talking about the detention. Why do I hear boss music? I guess it's finally come down to their final play.
You got anything? Okay. Sir. All right. I just want to ask you one more time. Your name and your date of birth. Will you please give us that?
One last Hail Mary attempt to get their ID fix.
Okay, here's what we're going to do.
Finally gonna fold your 4-card flush.
Turn the stone and looked beneath it. Peace on earth was all it said.
We're going to document this entire stop in a report. It's also documented on our digital mobile audio video. I'm quite aware that you have it documented on your personal camera. We're going to write a report. We're happy to give you the case number. If you'd like to buy a copy of the report, it'll be available to you at any police facility or online for that matter. We're then going to release you from the scene. You're not going to cooperate with us. We're going to have to put you down on a report as unknown or John Doe, whatever you choose, whatever you prefer. And from there, you'll be cut loose.
Even though they've just been proven to be on the wrong side of the law, they still have the need to give you unwarranted directives while you're still in custody.
I would caution you, when you find yourself in a position where you're filming a government installation like a police station, you're filming people's plates, you're filming cars, you put yourself in a position where if somebody makes a complaint against you for doing that, it becomes a different situation. It can become a criminal offense if they feel like you're stealing any kind of identifying information.
Blah, blah, blah. This officer's trying to save face, blah, blah, blah. Why do officers feel the need to lecture you every time during an encounter? Do they really need to feel a sense of control or authority even when they know that they're wrong? Everything he is saying is incorrect. There's no expectation of privacy in public. The pain from the handcuffs doesn't compare to the grief that my ears are experiencing.
Us, you can take pictures of our police cars all day long and document on video and everything else, police, license plates and everything else, because those are a matter of public record. Now, you're absolutely 100% correct. You're not in violation of failure to ID laws. That was never the point. The point is the police have a reasonable right to stop you based on the Code of Criminal Procedure when we find you to be a suspicious person in a suspicious place under suspicious circumstances. In this case, we have 2 of those. It was suspicious seeing you outside filming our installation and the plates and the cars and the people coming in and out of the building. And that was a suspicious circumstance based on that. That's why you were stopped. That's why you were ID'd. We could not ID you. We placed you in handcuffs for officer safety, placed you in the car. We can never come to an agreement on getting your ID. So at this point, there's not much we can really do. We're going to have to part ways and go on with our lives.
Isn't it fun to watch a junkie start tweaking when he doesn't get his fix?
Again, you're more than welcome to any kind of documentation. You can discuss this with anybody else you would like to. If you want to complain for anything, that's certainly available to you. And there's plenty of documentation, so the record will stand as it is. Do you have any questions for me? No questions. Free? You will be free in just 1 minute after we take the handcuffs off. Fair enough? All right, very good. Thank you.
Poor Officer Shirley trying to make excuses for his unlawful actions. The lawsuit resulted in these officers paying $5,500 that helped fund the Turnervy driver case. I was only in college during and after the ruling of many of my cases, including the appeal for Turnervy driver. Filing appeals were not cheap, but these lawsuits made it possible. One expensive lesson that will stand forever. I ended up filing a complaint sometime later after this incident, and the findings were equally disturbing as this video. Officer James Bojima with the Austin Police Internal Affairs investigated my complaint and found no wrongdoing.
Imagine that. The courts found him at fault, but his boss didn't find anything wrong.
In fact, in his findings, he stated if Mr. Turner just identified himself, then the situation would have ended.
You see, All we have to do is give up our rights, and everything will be just fine.
I have called numerous times and left voicemails, and Internal Affairs would not call me back. I guess this is what it means to protect their own. I conducted a follow-up audit and they placed this green covering around the exterior of the fence, so I just used my drone to solve that issue. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed and learned something valuable from all 3 parts. If you would like to see more videos like this, I'll be looking in the comment section for requests.